So another day, another whopping great massive pair of headphones slapped on my bald bonce, and today we're reviewing the Edifier Stax Spirit S3, which at £329 from the likes of Amazon.co.uk certainly ain't cheap, but they do promise a premium listening experience and all kinds of snazzy features that you would hope for at this price. Although there is one key killer feature that these headphones do lack, which is a real shame. So anyway, I've been testing them out for about a week now. Here's my full in-depth Edifier Stax Spirit S3 review. And for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now first up, I gotta say, I got mixed feelings on the actual design of the Stax Spirit. I'm not really a fan of that gold on black design. It just kind of reminds me of gentlemen's clubs. Maybe it's just my sordid mind. And the pattern design, I don't know, it just looks kind of cheap. Not as premium as you would hope from a pair of headphones that cost over 300 quid. And it's also slightly annoying that the cups only rotate 90 degrees rather than a full 180, but that is where my griping ends, because other than that, the design of the Stax Spirit S3 is fantastic. For one, you've got a choice of two sets of ear cups, both of which come bundled in the box. These are the lambskin leather ones. Otherwise, you can rip those off and slap on a pair of mesh ear cups instead. On a hot day, they'll prevent your ears from sweating like Jimmy Carr filling out a tax return, and they even come bunged in these adorable little travel pouches. How cute is that? I mostly ended up just using the leather lambskin ones because they are super padded and crazy comfortable to wear, even for hours at a time, and that's matched by the padding on the headband as well. So even if I was rocking these all afternoon long, didn't start to get that sort of ear fatigue and a bit of a sore head. And that is despite the 329 gram weight as well. These things certainly ain't light, but at least they do fold up nice and compact for traveling about the place. You've also got a Stax Spirit branded carry case bundled in there. And inside of that case, you've got all the accessories that you will need to get connected to your smartphone, to your stereo, or whatever you fancy. So yeah, you can use good old-fashioned cables. Otherwise, the Stax Spirit S3 also supports Bluetooth 5.2, so you can get hooked up to a pair of devices wirelessly at the same time, for instance your phone and your laptop, and just nice and easily just switch between the two on the fly. Gotta say though, I'm not a huge fan of the Stax Spirit S3's touch controls. For one, the play pause button is absolutely weenie and it's wedged here in the middle of the volume rocker, so I was constantly accidentally boosting up the volume and wrecking my hearing every time I just wanted to pause a track. And those tiny wee buttons are basically used for everything. You can assign double taps and triple taps to different things like skipping tracks, but frankly it's far too fiddly. I'd rather just have separate buttons or proper dedicated touch controls or something. And there's no auto pause feature here either, so when you do rip off the headphones because somebody started talking at you, well, whatever you're listening to, your podcast, your music, whatever, will continue to just blare on in the background. Now, to control the Edifier Stax Spirit S3s, you can download the Edifier Connect app onto your Android or Apple device. It's not quite as comprehensive as many rivals. So for instance, you've got a small amount of audio customization here. You can basically choose between 3 different presets. Personally, I just preferred the classic mode, so I just left it in that. You can check out an online copy of that user manual. You can also customize the controls. Get this to activate the voice assistant, for instance, or turn on the game mode. This can apparently reduce any latency between your device and the headphones when you are gaming, so you get real-time feedback. But to be honest, I didn't notice any latency even without that on. Now, another unfortunate issue with the Edifier Stax Spirit S3s is the codec support. For one, there's no AAC support here, so if you're an iPhone user, it's SPC all the way, baby, which basically means just don't waste your money. However, if you're an Android user, it is much better news. Music to your ears, if you will, because you've got aptX Adaptive and aptX HD support here. Get paired up with a smartphone that supports high-res audio, and oh yeah, baby. You may not get much customization of that audio via the Edifier Connect app, but it doesn't matter because on the default settings, you will enjoy rich, multi-layered audio. No distortion whatsoever, just incredible sound. However, compared with a lot of rivals, the Stax Spirit S3 do suffer from one crucial flaw, and that is the complete lack of active noise cancellation. It's just something you expect to have on any kind of headphones pretty much these days. Even budget headphones around the £100 mark these days tend to have some form of noise cancellation support. And you don't even get particularly good isolation from these things, which is quite surprising given the thick padding on these lambskin ear cups. So if you're somewhere busy and noisy like a high street or an airport, you're going to have to jack your volume all the way up on your podcast or your audiobook, otherwise you won't be able to hear a bloody thing. Fortunately, as long as you're wearing them, there's not too much audio bleed to annoy other people all around you if you happen to be blasting angry metal in a very quiet environment. And certainly one of the best features of the Edifier Stax Spirit S3 is, beyond the fact you've got that fantastic audio quality, is the battery life. Edifier promises up to 80 hours of use on a single charge. And what's more, a full charge of the Edifier Stax Spirit only takes a couple of hours, so that's quite some return. So yeah, they would be a pretty bloody good travel companion, apart from, of course, the lack of ANC, which means that they're not really well suited to outdoors use, definitely best left in a studio, an office, something like that. So that right there is my full final frank review of the Edifier Stax Spirit S3. It'd be great to hear your own thoughts down in the comments below. Please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech, and have yourselves a wonderful rest of the week. Cheers!